image of Christ. Today, we've talked about moving from doing to living. We've said that it's not enough just to ask, what would Jesus do? We need to know, how did Jesus live? We need to know who Jesus was. And more than that, we need to know Jesus. Without asking, how did Jesus live? What did Jesus do? Misses the point entirely. Because we have to see why He made the right choices He made. And when we live like Jesus lived, we won't just be trying to do the right thing. We'll be living in a right way. We'll be living right with God, and we'll be living right with our fellow man. This is what we're trying to do, is we're trying just to move the slider over from doing to living. I don't believe that we're ever going to achieve perfection here on earth. Agreed? It's not going to happen. But I want to live. I want to live for Christ. I don't want to just pretend. I don't want to be a pretender. I want to live like Jesus lived. And if you're ready for that journey, then in the next 5 weeks, we're going to unleash some disciplines in your life that will help you to be conformed into the image of Christ. We want to move in our prayer life from consumerism to intimacy with God. Prayer is more than just looking for guidance. It's more than just asking things from God. It is entering into His presence and enjoying an intimate relationship with Him. Now, there will never be a time when where you will stop asking God for things. That's not my point next week in that chapter. It is that shouldn't be the total of our prayer life. And I just want to move the slider of your life over from a consumeristic prayer life where you're asking God for things to where prayer becomes more than anything else a time of intimacy with the Father. And then in week 3, we're going to move from busyness to focus. I may not come week 3 because this is certainly something that I battle with in my life. Keeping my life occupied. Well, busyness is this endless movement, this endless, ceaseless stream of activity. But focus. Now, focus is a single-minded pursuit, an enduring pursuit of God. It involves eliminating things that are activities that distract you from your relationship with God. It's eliminating activities, maybe even some that you're doing for God. Get some of the clutter out of the way so that you can be in pursuit of the will of God. And focus will help to redirect you in your life. Once you've achieved some focus in your life and you move from busyness over to focus, once that happened in your life, you'll no longer have questions about how you need to be spending your time. You'll know. You'll know what to say no to, and you'll know what to say yes to. Focus. How many of you could live with being just a little less busy, huh? Anybody out there? How many of you wished you were more focused in your life? We're going to be studying some disciplines that will help that to happen in your life. The next week, from despair to hope. Bad stuff happens. Trials come. These moments of truth, I'm sorry, we can't keep you from them. They're coming. And yet, as you invite God into your sorrow, you will find His presence in the midst of your grief. Grief may last through the night, but hope follows the morning. I'm going to talk to you about disciplines like lament and praise and how to do that even in the midst of tough times. Anybody going through tough times right now? Let me see your hand. Anybody out there? Yeah. So many of us going through defining moments right now. I just want to move you from despair over to hope. incrementally, small steps, small things. And then the last week, we're going to talk about moving from isolation to connection. Christians develop relationship with God and His people when they work together for the cause of Christ. People are not looking for a friendly church. They're looking for friends. People are hungering to really connect with other people and with God. So in the 5th week, we're going to be talking about some spiritual disciplines that you can practice that can help you move out of spiritual isolation and connect. Now listen, I know that you can be lonely even in a crowd. Being among people doesn't mean you've connected. Am I right? So in the 5th week, we're going to be working on some spiritual disciplines that will help you to move. And then in our final week, we're going to talk about how to move from a sense of entitlement to ministry. And whether a ministry is large or small, it meets a need, it fulfills your calling, and it brings a glory to God. And that, in my opinion, is no small thing. We do not come to church to be served. We come here to serve. Don't think of this as the dining room. Think of this as the kitchen. All hands on deck. There's a world to be reached. Now, when you have a need in the church, we want to help meet your need. When we have a need, we'd appreciate your help. But at some point, the Church of Jesus Christ has to stop being so focused on my need and your need and see the need of the world around us. A world that is dying without Christ. We need to move from a sense of entitlement to service. Move the slider of your life over in each one of these dimensions. And as you do, you will be participating with God as He shapes you into the image of His Son.